Good evening, everyone. I'm Shannon Rutherford, the town planner for Farmington. This is the Town Plan and Zoning Commission meeting. We will start our meeting with a roll call of commission members. Matthew Bandel.
Here.
Robert Canto is absent. Rogia Afshar.
Present.
David St. Germain.
Here.
Liz Sanford.
Here.
Scott Halstead.
Here.
And our alternates, Bruce Polsky,
Here.
Mike Tucci,
Here.
and Peter Zarella. I am not seeing online. Yes, hang on. Peter, you should be able to promote yourself to a panelist. Peter, can you hear us? All right, say. Peter, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Great.
So Peter is in attendance for the meeting.
Great.
All right.
Thanks, Shannon. Welcome everybody to the March 24th Town Plan and Zoning Commission meeting. Peter, welcome to the commission. Glad to have you. Kick off the meeting with the legal notice, please, Liz.
Okay. Notice is hereby given that the Town Plan and Zoning Commission will hold a hybrid in-person and online public hearing on Monday, March 24th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers on the following applications. Eric Stagel, I hope I said that right. Application for special permit to operate a food truck at 17 Depot Place in a C1 zone. Ashley Chapman, application for a special permit to conduct home business, bakery, and farm stand for pickup of items at 46 Hillside Avenue in an R12 zone. Richard Jones, application for change of zone from CR to C1, posted in the town's clerk's office, special permit and site plan to construct 3 contractor buildings, work within the flood perimeter overlay zone, waiver for impervious coverage, and waiver for interior landscaping located at lot 8556 New Britain Avenue, adjacent to 544 New Britain Avenue. Town of Farmington application for special permit per Article 2, Section 1.b.11, municipal land use for the processing of raw wood for municipal purposes such as fence posts and rails, benches, etc. at 8750 Roma Drive in an R30C zone. Interested parties are encouraged to participate in this hybrid public hearing. Participation in person is at 1 Monteith Drive, Town Hall, Town Council Chambers, or online. Participation is via the link to the meeting on the Town of Farmington's website. A copy of this proposal is available online, or by calling the planning department at Farmington Town Hall. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 11th day of March, 2025.
Thanks so much, Liz. Now that we read those in, we've got a couple of changes already. So the Town of Farmington application for Roma Drive has been withdrawn. So we will not be hearing that tonight. Wanted to let folks know in case they came in specifically for that hearing. And also Richard Jones will be continued to April 28th. So if anybody's here for that public hearing, same story. We won't be hearing that tonight. But we do have a few new business items to get started with. Our first is Sign Light, a sign application for monument signs at 80 Batterson Park Road.
Okay. I believe, Mark, you're online for this?
Yes, hello, good evening. Could you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
Great. Yes, well, to get started, again, my name is Mark. I'm with Sign Light. I'm representing the Olmsted at Farmington for a detached halo illuminated set of letters that is on a retaining wall. And the overall square footage of the sign is 59 square feet. And we know the maximum allowance is 50 square feet. So we're hoping to be heard for a special permit for this situation. One of the reasons we like to keep the sign this large is it is the only sign on the property facing Batterson Park It's the only form of identification of the property when you're driving on Batterson Park. All the other signage, there's one other freestanding sign that could be a half a mile off the road, way into the development. And this sign is located on a retaining wall, and the retaining wall is set back off of Batterson Park Road. I never measured it, but it could be 150 feet up off the street. So again, it's the only identifying signage on the property facing Batterson. And across the street from that is wooded land and a lake way down. So no one's, there's no neighbors, pointing directly at the sign. It's all wooded land. And this sign is really necessary to be this large, just so people driving by at 150 feet off the street do know what this property belongs to. They're individual characters mounted on the wall, and any smaller, we did hold up some templates, and we had smaller characters up there for mock-ups. And from the street, it's not readable. You just wouldn't even be able to distinguish the wording if we made this any smaller. It's not overly detailed, and the illumination is going to be warm white. Each letter glows with a halo. Very classy and clean type of signage mounted on the retaining wall. But to go any smaller would just really be hard to read. It'd almost be illegible. The letters stand off the brick wall just about an inch, and to shrink it down would really hurt the purpose of the sign. And again, it's the only sign on that property facing the street. We're not looking for any other signs facing the road. So hoping we can keep the sign this size with your permission. And the second sign is a 50 square foot freestanding sign, also illuminated, opaque background, just the text will illuminate. And that's located well within the property, could be a half a mile off the street. And that's a freestanding sign at the entrance of the property, at the entrance of Olmsted, telling people that that's the Olmsted property. There's no building signage. That would be the one identifying sign. Once you get into the property and go through the rotary, that sign is necessary so people know where to enter. If you're there for the first time and you're visiting, and that's the identifying signage to get you into their property.
And just for frame of reference for the commission, this is the freestanding sign, the one that was just discussed.
Mhm.
And then the retaining wall is located here on the site plan that was reviewed. So the proximity to Batterson Park Road is evident there. Mark, do you have anything else to share with the commission at this time?
No, I don't believe I do.
Okay, well, thank you for the presentation. Let me turn it over to the commissioners for questions. We'll start with Matt.
The only question I have is pertaining to attached signs on the south end of the building. Are there any additional signs planned for the future?
No,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Roja?
Thanks for your presentation. Shannon, could you, oh, actually, we're on the slide. So the sign number 1 looks like the one on the top, or is it the black one that I'm seeing? That's the design of the sign 1?
Yeah, the black one you're seeing, that's the night vision. That's how it's going to look at night, where the letters illuminate. That's just a nighttime view. It's the same sign. It just represented daytime and nighttime.
I see. So it looks like the top one. I mean, that the top picture is the morning version, and then daylight version, and then the black one is the nighttime.
That's
Correct.
correct. Yes.
Okay, thanks. And can you also, I know you mentioned it, but can you please tell us one more time about the illumination situation for sign 2?
For sign 2, yep, that is an opaque blue background. Background is aluminum, and the lettering is stencil cut out of the aluminum, and just the graphics, just the illumination is on the face, on the letters only, not the background, but just the letters illuminate.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's all I had.
Sure, you're welcome.
Okay. Thanks for the presentation. While we're talking about the second sign, so it is an internally illuminated sign. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, lights are inside of the sign. It's not indirectly illuminated. There's lights inside the sign. And again, the blue background is opaque. And just the lettering illuminates from within.
Okay. Reading through here. Okay, and on the first sign, it says here that the wall is a little over 100 feet long. Is the sign going to be centered? Is it going to be towards the driveway side? I'm just curious to know where.
Sure, it's not completely centered because that doesn't give the best visibility. When we came out to the site and met with the owners, we did position some letters. And again, if we're granted permission, when we hang the template up, we're going to get their blessing and make sure it's the best location on the wall, but it's not quite centered. It favors the right a little bit because that is the most open portion of property and visibility. So it won't be exactly centered. It'll be a little bit to the right, but it'll look proper on the wall, and it will give the sign best visibility from Batterson Park Road.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. And also the left side of the wall tapers into the property, and it's not as tall. It's another reason we kept it off the left side. Because the grade kind of comes up into the retaining wall quite a bit, and it'll make those letters look very low to the ground, which would also make it difficult to read.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dave?
I guess I'm just questioning for Shannon Moore is, do we allow internally lit signs?
No,
I didn't think that.
internal illumination is not permitted, so that sign lighting for the second sign will have to be halo lit, ground lit.
That is the case. It's internally lit, but just the edges of the characters glow, just like the illumination of the sign 1. The face of the letters.
Halo. So it'll be referred as halo lit.
Halo lit, yeah.
Yes, it's internally lit, but just the halo of each character glows. The face is opaque, the blue face is opaque, and the face of each character is opaque. And we're just getting a glow around the edge. It's edge lighting of each character. Same style.
Halo lit letters and logo with the illumination called out. So this would be the same thing. It just doesn't have that information on the sign. So
Correct. But it will be built so just the edges of these characters of the lettering glows, not the face of the letters, nor the blue background. It'll be the same thing, that halo illumination.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I can include that in an updated drawing, but that's the way that would be illuminated.
Thank you.
Are you saying that the only sign for the Olmsted in Farmington is the only one that would be visible from the road anywhere?
Correct.
Marking the property, and could they be confused if they're going there? Would that be the only destination they'd have?
Ari, are you?
Ari's on.
Ari may be the gentleman to answer that question better than I.
Yes, I'm here. My name is Ari Kudavidis, and I'm with the ownership group. And I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. I'm wondering about, I'm looking at purpose of the sign. If we're going to have such a large sign and it's going to exceed that, is it that people would be confused about where they're going and they would really need this sign to get to the Olmsted?
Well, I think it's the purpose of first off, the original site plan approval had a monument sign located, and Shannon can show you that on the original There was a sign, a proposed monument sign there as part of the approved site plan. So there were two signs originally contemplated and placed on the site, actually a third as well, but we're not doing that one on the corner over there. That's nor here nor there. When we asked Mark to come out to the site to arrange these signs and lay them out, the one along the street just did not make sense given its length and other obstructions that were in the way because it is on a hill. So the recommendation was to potentially use the wall as the background for the sign so that it could identify the building. And so because there is no direct street access to the building from Batterson Park Road, at least not directly, you got to go through kind of the main campus entrance. That forced us to put exactly right where Shannon's pointing to. So to kind of come into the campus where you first approach the two office buildings, you could see the building from there, that vantage point. And so that's why the internal sign was located in the roundabout location, but we didn't have anything identifying the building as you were driving by. You could see the building, but you're like, what is that? So we thought that there should be something along the street there that identifies the building and the name of the building, which is why we originally put a monument sign there in the original site plan, but once we were in the space, it just didn't make sense. So we thought moving it to the wall made a lot more sense. And this way you'd associate that wall with the project and the building's kind of high up on the hill in the background. And if you had that vantage point, I believe Shannon had some pictures, right? You can kind of see what we're talking about here. That along the road, the building you can see back up there in the background, but you're quite not sure what that is. And so we thought by putting a sign along the wall, it would clearly associate the name and the building with that name.
Okay, that's helpful. Thanks. No more questions.
Bruce?
Thank you for your presentation. I think my questions have been asked by my fellow commissioners.
Okay. Mike?
Thank you for your presentation. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Bruce.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Peter, any questions?
No questions from me. Thank you.
Okay. I think I'm good too. Shannon, I don't know, do you want us to make mention of the halo lit in the motion on sign number 2?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think it would be cleaner, and I know Shannon made mention of this in the agenda review to vote on separately, because that first sign, if it's going to be larger, requires a 5/6 vote. Is there any discussion on the sign that's larger than what's permitted? Any thoughts?
I'm good.
I think it makes sense. I think the size difference is marginal. And as ownership was saying, I do think it will present nicely and show people what the building is.
Okay.
To appoint for Bobby Cancha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I'm just writing him a note.
thank you. I was like, this just in, I'm like,
Some in the ribs.
yeah, so Bruce?
More than happy to.
Thank you so much. Bruce will be sitting in for Bobby. Thank you for that, everybody. Other thoughts? You said you were okay. Ruth?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Then maybe
We
we,
need to do two separate votes.
no, we
don't,
don't, not based on that. I thought there might be difference of opinion, which is why I said that initially, so. Could we have a
Good to
motion?
go? All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the sign application by Signlight Incorporated for monument signs located at 80 Batterson Park Road, SIFZ zone with the condition that sign 2 is halo lit.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Night.
Absolutely. Item number 2, 402 Farmington Avenue.
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna see if I can. Volume. The room behind, I think we're getting a bit of an echo.
Oh, okay. Now I know. I wouldn't have gotten that, looks like. But you were right.
I was writing, I
And,
waited
you know.
fast. And Yes.
Yeah. Let's keep blaming stuff on that, right?
I'm gonna ride that as long as I can.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're good? Okay.
I'll give that a try.
Come on up, Kyle. Welcome back.
Very much. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and fellow commissioners. My name is Kyle Richards. I'm with the Metro Realty Group. I am here to present for your consideration a minor modification to the material being proposed for the entrance path at 402 Farmington. It's been some time since we've been before this commission. So first, I'd like to provide a quick background and update on the community. 402 Farmington is a 130 apartment community presently being constructed, and it's a single building, as you can see from the aerial shot on your screen, with a large central courtyard. This drone was shot a few weeks ago, and you can see from this shot that all of our major site work is complete, and we're presently about halfway done with framing. The second half of the building, so the building's kind of comprised on two firewalls, and we built one side of the building up to a firewall, and now we've started framing on the second side, which is the Farmington Avenue side. We expect to begin pre-leasing in early 2026. So another important update for you: in the time since we were initially approved, which I know feels like forever ago to some of us, we are happy to report that we've committed to make a significant portion of the community affordable, available to renters meeting a certain income threshold. Given that this community was located and designed specifically to provide this housing need in this very important medical corridor, we felt it important to expand the level of affordability for workers of different income levels. So that's the update. Now on to the subject for this evening. Shannon, if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide. Perfect. Okay. So we respectfully request that this commission permits a change in material from concrete to bituminous concrete, which you probably know as blacktop, for the path leading from the community to Farmington Avenue. So to orient you, the request is being made over the path shown in red on your screen. So you can see 402 Farmington. Obviously, this is an older aerial. That's the site of the community. And Farmington Avenue is down right where Shannon's cursor is. So that red path is roughly 1,200 linear feet, and it's a 6-foot wide path that we're proposing to make bituminous. There's over a 30-foot grade change from Farmington Avenue to the site. So if you're at Farmington Avenue and you embark your way up this path, you're climbing roughly 30 feet over 1,200 feet, linear feet of, again, of path. Shown in yellow on your screen is roughly 1,000 linear feet of 6-foot wide bituminous path that we've already installed. You might have noticed. This was, again, previously was originally approved to be a concrete surface. We were successful in discussing the change to change it to bituminous with this commission. Again, that's on Farmington Avenue in front of Farm Glen. So both paths, along with the pedestrian safety improvements that we're making at the road. So between the red and the yellow paths, we're enhancing that intersection. We're putting in a pedestrian walk phase, stopping traffic. Presently, the condition is that when someone wants to cross the street, they have to wait for a red light and they just have to go. So the way we're enhancing the intersection is we're putting signals in. So you get the visual that tells you that it's safe to cross, but you're also getting the audio. So it's a much safer, more intuitive condition when someone wants to you know, it's a 4-lane roadway. You want to be notified that it's safe to cross. So once all of that's in, we've made a continuous and safe connection between the community at 402 Farmington Avenue and continuous all the way to the Yukon Health Center. All right, next slide, please, Shannon. So that's another aerial shot just of the 1,000-foot bituminous that we've already installed in front of Farm Glen. That's I think that's a ground level shot. We think it looks quite nice. Okay, to the next slide. So to talk specifically now about what you want to hear, the differences in the two materials and the reasons that we feel strongly that bituminous is a more practical and aesthetically pleasing option for this particular community. So first with concrete. Concrete, of course, is a white grayish color, and it's a more rigid material by the nature of its installation. You install individual forms, as you can see on your screen, and they place concrete in segments, you know, in panels. It's a very durable product, but it's harder and thus more slippery by its nature. Next slide, Shannon, please. It's completed with what's called a broom finish to provide some texture to kind of combat that slipperiness. And you see it most often in a commercial setting or on sidewalks that are generally flat and on a straighter path. That's where this type of sidewalk agrees more. It's also more frequently used in areas that are not as cold and don't have the propensity to be treated with salt products for icy conditions. Okay, next slide, please. So onto bituminous concrete, as I mentioned, known as blacktop, which is our preferred material here. It's a more flexible material that can be installed to create a continuous path. So it's less durable than concrete under certain conditions, but it's more easily repaired. You see it most often in settings which require the ability for it to be flexible. In our opinion, it's just a much more organic look that more easily bends to the existing landscape rather than trying to force the landscape to agree with a more rigid sidewalk. That's why you see it in a very flexible, I mean, it's ubiquitous at golf courses. You see it in a more flexible, natural environment. Next slide, please, Shannon. I listened to the recording from the meeting, the last meeting, and I heard one of the commissioners describe bituminous as gummier. It is. That's a great description. And because of this gumminess, it's a safer surface when it's a multi-purpose use. So not just someone walking. When you have gradient and you expect cyclists or someone on a scooter, it's a much safer product. This is why you see bituminous almost exclusively on biking paths, as you see on your screen in town. As a cyclist myself, I keep thinking about that coming from the community to Farmington Avenue at that 30-foot grade change and wanting to make this condition more safe as you're turning down a path at a pretty significant grade. It does better in snow and ice. It heats up more quickly because of its color and I think because of its properties. And it can be patched and repaired more easily when invariably a path hits it, or a plow truck hits it, which we expect in this application along Quarry Road. Next slide, please. So as for the aesthetic, which I know is particularly important to this commission, we don't feel like we're compromising anything. Next slide, please, Shannon. We've been using bituminous paths in our communities, our residential developments for over 30 years, and we believe they've stood the test of time. This photo that you're looking at is a shot of a sweeping path alongside one of our entry drives at a residential community that we own. Next slide, please. Here's another shot of a bituminous path at one of our senior communities, which is again, the material of choice in an environment where it's absolutely imperative that the sidewalks are not slippery for the resident population, particularly when they're of an advanced age. Next slide, please. Just the last two here. I know this is a lot. Here's a photo of a multi-purpose bituminous path in front of the Anthology Senior Living Facility on Route 4 in town. And then the last slide. This is another shot. This is Devonwood, of course, a beautiful residential development that has several miles of bituminous paths alongside the roadway, as you can see there on the right side. So I think I'm going to stop there. I'm sure that was much more than you cared for about the material of a path, but I can tell you sincerely that these are the types of decisions that we angst over. You probably know this about us, but the intention is to hold all of our properties forever. And when you do that, you certainly think of things differently. And I wouldn't be wasting this commission's time in suggesting this if I didn't feel it was a better long-term solution. Frankly, we have 30 maintenance crew guys who are behind this, who would have my head if I didn't suggest it. I think it's important, and I really appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle, for the presentation. Really appreciate you walking us through all that. So let me turn it over to commissioners. Matt, any questions?
Once again, thank you for the presentation. No questions.
Yes,
Rosie.
yes, sir. I'm going. Thanks for your presentation. We appreciate it. Not quite convinced about the aesthetics, that this is being prettier than concrete, but I'm voting on it, favorably. Just can you give us, because I know the huge reason for you to go with autonomous, or how do you pronounce it, is the cost. So can you walk us through the cost and the difference, please?
The cost, I frankly didn't want to bring up the cost because I wanted to be fair to this commission, and that it's not the only driving force, right? If these things were equivalent in cost, we would still be here. We really feel like the bituminous is a favorable material in this condition. Concrete is more expensive than bituminous. It's significantly more. If you would you mind going to the site plan? I think it's one of the last slides, Shannon. And in environments where we think it's a better, I think there might be one more. Yeah, this is a good one. So the sidewalk in front of the building, which is on a flat plane, a flat straight surface, this is all going to remain all concrete. But you can actually get a really good view of it here. This chicane that we had to do in order to get a bike walking path up to the building, it's intentionally longer so you can make the gradient not steep enough that you can get up it with respect to ADA in a wheelchair. So this type of movement just makes the bituminous surface a much, much more practical option. So in the areas where we think that the concrete's a better solution, like the medical buildings where it's flat in front, we use concrete. But in residential, again, where you're trying to work with like what nature's given you, it's easier to use the bituminous.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What's that?
Yeah, thank you. Liz?
No, thank you very much for that thorough presentation. And I know more about bituminous than I ever did before, but no, thanks you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dave?
Yeah, it was helpful to hear about the grade change and the windiness of the path, and hearing more. My first thing was price too.
Yeah.
But this was helpful. Thank you.
Indeed, thank you. It was a good presentation. I do have one question with respect to this particular application, though, because in looking at this, there's a lot of brush on either side, and bituminous is black and concrete is light. it could be quite dark, especially during winter months with the money you're saving. Would you consider pathway lighting appropriate on this if you went with bituminous?
We don't have, are the lighting poles showing up on this plan?
Mhm.
So the path is illuminated.
It will be illuminated.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the roadway is illuminated, so the path behind it, so you can
Mm.
see, I've zoomed
Makes
in,
sense.
the little round indicators, I'm pretty sure are the light poles coming all the way down. So in this particular, as you're approaching the building, the sidewalk is behind. As you come down through, the sidewalk is right up adjacent to the road, so for the majority of the way up,
Oh, that's great, because most of the examples you showed,
Right.
I didn't really see any with.
Right.
With
Yeah,
lighting
that's a
on
good
it,
point.
so. But thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
So, this might be a little out of left field, but I just was curious about the logistics. Really excited that you're putting this in. If there were cracks or, holes in the path, is this your team of 30 people, the team that goes out and fixes it? Is it relatively something you guys look out for, or do the
Yeah.
residents have to contact you and?
No, we
something?
would be preventative on it, but this path, it's a bit of a unique circumstance, right? Because Quarry Road is not, it's not a private drive to our development only, right? The town's public works storage area is back there, the former landfill. And so it's a long, I think it's a long path, but the point is that we've made, we've agreed to maintain it forever. It's our responsibility to not only plow it, but to maintain and repair it. And that is one of the advantages to having bituminous, is that it is more easily repaired. Is it perfect? No. We've also, it's worth noting, and I'm not sure if you can pick it up on the aerial, Shannon, but there was a lot of blasting that went on down by the road and a lot of the vegetation was cleared. So like, there's not going to be any extensive intrusion of roots. I don't know if you can see it well, but certainly down by the road, there was a big you can see that a lot of, it doesn't look significant on this plan, but there's, 30, 40 feet of clearance between the path and where the vegetation starts. So I don't expect it to be extensively needed, but yes, it is our responsibility to do it.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, because when you said you cycle, once you get to Burlington, it's like.
Right.
Yeah, and
Well-
I'm expecting that the future residents are going to utilize this a lot. So that's great to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you. No
Good, Mike.
further questions.
Peter, any questions?
No, with the excellent presentation and the explanation of the repairs, no questions from me. Thank you.
So I guess I just have one, Kyle. I sat through those hearings back whenever it was. What changed from when we had those original hearings and the decision was made to go with concrete for those sidewalks, and now I don't even know how long ago that hearing was, but a few years later.
I think truthfully, there were probably other things on our mind at the time and just getting
That's fair.
through the process. I mean, you 4 or 5 hour hearings,
Yep.
and that's the honest answer.
Okay.
Now
Fair
we're
enough.
getting ready to build it, and as I mentioned, a group of people who are making the final touches on how we're going to maintain this forever, and
Yep.
it came to light.
Okay.
That's the honest answer.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Any other questions for
No.
Kyle? Good?
No.
All right, can we get a motion in a second?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to approve the site plan modification by 402 Farmington Avenue LLC to change approved concrete sidewalk to bituminous concrete sidewalk SIFZ zone.
Second.
Thank you. Jump the gun. Any discussion? Everybody's comfortable voting? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we have 2 applications to accept. The first one, number 3 on the agenda, Town Plan and Zoning Commission. Can we get a motion in a second, please?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the application by the Town Plan and Zoning Commission for text amendment to the zoning regulations Article 2, Section 3 to permit 2 family dwellings on 1 lot in R12 zone and schedule a public hearing with a recommended hearing date, April 28th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And then number 4, Christian and Heather Gombos.
Like to make a motion to accept the application by Christian and Heather Gombos for home expansion and excess of 2,400 square feet of living area and 3,200 square feet area at 21 Church Street, R20 zone with a recommended hearing date of April 28th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, everybody. All right, shifting over to our public hearings, just a little bit on process for everybody in the room and online before we jump into these. So process looks similar to what we did with the early applicants. We'll ask the applicant to come up and present. The commission will go through questions and then we'll open it up to the public, first in the room and then anybody online to talk in support or opposition of that particular application. We do ask that individuals doing public comment, just try to keep your comments to a reasonable amount of time. We're all volunteers. You're here on your own volition tonight, and we very much appreciate that. But we usually say within 5 minutes, and it's okay to get up and say ditto what the person behind you said. That's fine too. So again, really appreciate the public's participation. And with that, we're going to jump right to Eric Stagel and 17 Depot Place.
I'm just going to jump in and a reminder that
Oh, thanks, Shannon.
the first public hearing for 8750 Roma Drive has been withdrawn and will not be proceeding this evening. The application has been withdrawn. It won't be proceeding, period. Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.
So yeah, Eric Daigle, 17 Depot Place, please.
My name's Eric Stagel. I live at 18 Village View Lane in Unionville. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen to my application. So my application is to allow food trucks, or my food truck in at 17 Depot Place. The truck will be parked right there where the yellow is. Parking is right in front of Daily Grind, which is next to the building. And there's also a bunch of other parking if it gets crazy, which I hope it does. Most of our ordering, I'm hoping, will be online. We have a nice online ordering system. We have no illuminated lights. We take care of all of our own trash. At first, we're looking just to do 3 days a week, but hopefully at some point that might go up. We're not planning on any seating to start. Mostly, I'm hoping just all takeout stuff. Generator. I know this has been a question. We use a Honda generator, which is a very nice, very quiet generator. It has its own cubby in the back of the truck. So we use it all the time, and you're still able to hear full conversations from service window to guests. So I know that it has been a question a few times. We will not be playing any music, nothing loud. We will close by 8 o'clock. I have gotten permission from all the business owners or restaurant owners within 500 feet. Evan, who owns Daily Grinds, Selena, who owns Lucky Dragon, and Luis from Puente. Yes, yes, they are all super psyched and very helpful. So also Ron, who owns Depot Place, is obviously allowing me to rent a little spot out there a few days a week. So think that's it. We might put an A-frame over on Plainville Ave. I don't have one yet, but we might do one at some point. But this is mostly social media, word of mouth type of advertising. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me turn it over to the Commissioners for any questions? Matt, any questions for?
Just two, actually. Thank you for the presentation.
No problem.
First is days of the week and hours of operation, just to nail that down.
So like I said, it's, we're looking at 3, probably Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. And it would probably be from like 3 and 8 o'clock would be the latest closing.
All right. And you mentioned the A-frame, and that's for advertising signage. And
Yeah, just cool, because you know, the depot place is set back a little bit, so
Yeah.
maybe, I know Evan has one out there, for daily grind, so we haven't purchased one yet, but I know he has one, so, we might do one at some point.
Okay.
Okay.
Shannon, would they have to come back for that signage or?
We typically don't for the
Yeah.
A because it's,
Good
question.
we consider it an open and notification that the facility's open and
Sure.
they're allowed up to a 12 square foot open sign. So,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
we won't, not a bunch of additional advertising, but open in the name because it is set back. That is permitted.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Roj?
Thanks, Mr. Stegall, for coming here before us for the third time. They say third time's the charm, right?
Right.
Hopefully you get
Yep.
your vote tonight. So when are you opening?
I mean, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Right? That's awesome. All the best to you. We're excited
Thank you.
to have a new thing in town. Nothing really, just, did you cover all the items for conservation? Not all of them,
Not
right?
all of them.
One thing about the owners of the other restaurants, you're gonna get permission from the other ones?
I already did.
Yeah, that all
Yeah,
came
He
in.
yeah.
has it, yeah.
Okay, you have.
Yeah, that's already done.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And I know my fellow commissioner asked about the hours, but can you tell me what time you start? I think I missed that.
So I think we would probably pull up around, 2:30 or 3, and it usually takes about a half an hour to get open. So I'm guessing our hour will be 4 to 8, but the truck will probably be there 3 to, and we'll close the window at 8 o'clock.
Okay, gotcha. And then you're gonna leave the truck,
That was, I forgot to mention that. The plan is not to leave it there. Not saying that that won't happen, but the generator, if it is left there overnight, there won't be any generator, like it'll be without power. So it'll be just a parked vehicle,
Parked.
large parked vehicle.
great.
But I have to clear that through Ron first. So the plan is to drive it in, drive it out every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you at your truck sometime.
Cool.
Come to you.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, Liz?
Most of my questions were asked and answered. And then one just went in and out of my brain. Oh, goodness.
I'm gonna come back.
Oh, I know. How late, how long is breakdown time? Like if you close at 8, are you
we're out of there.
15 minutes down and dirty or?
I mean, I think we'd be pulling away by 8:30.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
generators off, quiet.
Yeah.
and- Okay,
And the generator, like I said, you could be standing there ordering and you won't even hear it because it's around the other side. And
and I imagine there's
yeah, it's a
traffic.
very
on-
expensive,
on the
quiet
road.
generator. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
problem.
Appreciate it.
Dave?
Thanks. So things go really amazingly well. You can't fill all the orders.
Fingers
Right
crossed.
now, your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like what's the best case scenario for you? Like, would you expand days?
I mean, I guess we'll cross that bridge. I mean, it'd be great to have some picnic benches out there at some point, but once again, I gotta run all that by Ron and, Evan but right now it's just, trying to, well, really it was winter, but clearly we've kind of passed that. So, but yeah, I just want to get open and see how it goes and go from there. I know that picnic bench were talked about. And as far as I know, it's okay. No bathroom is needed. Like I said, we will take care of all the trash. And to start, there will be no seating, so everything will be to go. So people are taking their food and they're going home. So if it's crazy busy, then I guess you'll see me in a little while.
So is he limited to the number of days? Like if he says 3
So,
days now,
I
or is
guess
it open?
that's,
I just want to make sure he would.
So the plan shows 3 picnic tables, so that it showed the truck and 3 picnic tables to allow this to the evolution to summer, fall, or nice weather use. And Ron Dolly has seen this and I believe understood that there was a truck and 3 picnic tables. So the truck will be at least 10 feet off this southern property line when it's parked, to try to be mindful of the neighbors and keep it on an impervious, impervious surface. So, and the permit really isn't limited on the days, right? The use isn't necessarily limited on the days. It's just, it was kind of conversational for his our own understanding of how it's starting. And then, I don't know, Eric, I think you had indicated you're probably not a 7 days a week anyhow, even in the summertime. So
Yeah, I mean, we're just starting to, it's gonna be busy, so I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make the 3 days.
in the summer, as you set
Yeah.
up your other obligations for the summer.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, it would be great at some point to be able to do more without having to come back.
right. So
Right.
that's,
So I would love if it
That's
was
what I
just
make.
like, I'm not gonna open when Evan's open.
Sure.
which, so yeah, I would hate to be limited to, but
Mhm.
it's your call.
so I think that I don't want to be policing this, how many days he's open and when,
sure?
is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? Is it changed this month? So, and in general, I think we want to look at this, assuming that it's a 7-day a
Yep.
week, 3 to 8
Makes sense.
Right.
under this parameter. We're said 3 picnic tables. If there's 4 or 5, again, I don't think that's a big deal. If there's 10 to 12, then we probably have a problem, because parking and logistics is just not going to work in this confined space. So that's my recommendation to the commission. Obviously, you folks can do what you feel best with that. So,
Thanks. That's helpful.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Bruce?
Thank you very much for, I think, persevering with us and being the impetus for getting us started with this. It's never easy to be a pioneer. And I wish you good fortune
Thank you.
with this. So I think that's it for me.
Thank you.
Mike?
Just a quick question with respect to the neighbors. In the winter months, if you're out there, I know Hondas are good generators. I'm a
Yeah.
Generator myself, but will it also heat the truck too for yourself if you're cooking in there? Will it get louder?
No,
indication of that.
we have to use those, when you go camping, little Coleman.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not warm in there. No.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but you can't do anything else with the generator because it's already maxed out with all the stuff in there. So
Understood. Okay.
we use, there is a propane heater that's attached to the propane tanks, but it doesn't really do much.
Hmm.
So we use the little Coleman propane
Okay.
heaters. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, and Peter?
No questions from me. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. I don't have any questions either. I don't think at this point. Similar to what Bruce said, I appreciate your and your patience, and maybe not patience at different points
Yeah.
as we
thank you.
walk through this process, but appreciate you sticking with it and answering our questions and so on and so forth. It's
No problem.
this is a public hearing, so I want to give anybody in the room an opportunity who wants to come up and speak either for or in opposition to the application. And then we'll have you take a seat, Eric, and have you respond to comments at the end. If you could state your name and address for us, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Ann Waters. I live at 135 Plainville Avenue. The north part of my property abuts 17 Depot Place. I have some of the questions I had were answered, but I do have a couple other things. When you're talking about the generator, it's going to be in the back. Should I address you or should I?
Yeah, you can address us. And
Okay.
we'll have him come up and answer all the
Okay.
questions at the end.
So, the generator would be right at my back, in the back of my property. So, I just wanted to know, I know he reassured it was quiet, but I think we won't know that until it starts up and I hear it. But anyway, I think he answered my question regarding, if the truck was left there, the generator wouldn't be going. I am all in favor of having them down there. I see nothing wrong with him, with his business being 4 or 5 hours a day is fine. But, the overnight running was kind of out of the realm. Exhaust and fumes from the truck. I don't know if there are any, or, that would be another thing. My other concern is there is a gas pump down there, and where the truck is fairly close to that. The gas, it's not workable now. I've learned, but I just don't know if that's a safety health issue. And also if there's a gas tank in that area too.
Okay.
And I know that's right where in close proximity to where the truck is. And I think that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Anyone else in the room who'd like to speak on this application? Shannon?
Okay, if anyone has called in to offer a comment regarding the 17 Depot Place application for Eric Stagel, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. You'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Again, if anyone else has called in to offer comment for the 17 Depot Place application, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. Mr. Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay.
And I do just want to note for the record, we did receive correspondence.
Yeah, I was gonna
but it
ask
was
about that.
from
Yeah.
Ms. Waters, and she read it into the
Okay.
record. It was the same
Perfect.
items. So
All
there
right.
was no other written correspondence received.
If you could respond to her questions, Mr. Stagel, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, the generator, like I said, is very quiet. Especially, the Plainville Ave is right there, so I don't see it being any, I just don't. And there's a hill that goes up. I mean, I invite anybody to come out and listen to it. And, obviously if you come, you're going to order, you'll be able to see if it's loud.
Yeah.
It's not loud. I've heard some very loud ones, and this one is awesome. So, as far as the gas tank underground, I have no idea. I would assume that it's decommissioned and it's out of.
I can answer
I was gonna-
that.
yeah,
So we
figured
checked
Jan
in
could.
with Mr. Dolly regarding that. So the pump is roughly center of the concrete. So just off center where the arrow is on the screen. It apparently is used a handful, at most once a week, handful of times a month. And so the tank is still there, the pump is still there, moderately active. So Ms. Waters, that was additional information that I got after we had spoken. Mr. Dolly believes he's gonna be taking that out. It will be decommissioned shortly, but having been in the area, I don't see this. There's already a number of vehicles coming and going in both sides of this. I don't believe having a food truck located where we have envisioned it is going to create an additional conflict at that location.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and
Thank
as
you for
far as
clarifying, Shannon.
fumes and, I mean, the generator, like I keep saying, it's a very high quality generator. There's, it has its own cubby, it has, where place for the fumes to go out, but there isn't like a lot of them. I mean, the truck it's no different than any other truck that's driving down Plainville Ave filled with dirt or, whatever. It's just a big food truck. So.
And the truck doesn't run when you're sitting there, right?
No.
Right.
No.
Okay. Just to clarify.
Yeah, no, the truck is very loud, but it doesn't sit there running.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've thought about this yet, Eric, for the positioning of
Yeah.
the truck. To which end do you I'm assuming with the awning open, right? This is
Yep.
only going to be positioned one way. So the awning's open. So which end of the truck will the generator be on? Will it?
No, it's the nose will be pointed towards Plainville Ave.
Yes.
Generators on the back.
Okay.
Driver's side.
So it's actually away.
So it's further away
Yeah.
then. So the generator is going to be located in the back
Correct. And
corner.
service window is
Is
right
to
there.
is going to be here on the north side.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So that's helpful. Then it's even further than from the residential home. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, commissioners? Any other
No.
questions? I think we're good. Thank you, though. All right, everybody comfortable? We okay closing the public hearing?
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to close the public hearing at this point. Can we get a motion in a second, please?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the application by Eric Stagel for 17 Depot Place for special permit and site plan approval by Craft Bird for mobile food truck use C1 zone.
Second.
Any discussion needed? Everybody's comfortable? Good? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Good luck.
Great. Good luck and welcome to Farmington.
All right, our next public hearing is Ashley Chapman, application for special permit for home business.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm Ashley Chapman. This is Tyler Hogue, and we're the owners of 46 Hillside Avenue in Unionville. I am actually new to town. I moved here in August, and it's been wonderful. We've met lots of great people. I am a cottage food licensed baker, and I specialize in sourdough breads and baked goods. I use a platform called Hot Plate, and I take pre-orders weekly. They open up on Mondays and close on Thursdays with Sunday pickups from 9 to 12. So everything is pre-ordered and paid for, labeled, and then just a quick pickup on Sundays. So the request for the permit is actually for the Sunday pickups from 9 to 12.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really basic.
All right, Matt, questions?
This,
You weren't ready, I know.
wasn't ready.
I know.
You needed to
I
talk a
like
little more so he was
talking,
ready.
but that's really it.
So it's just Sunday pickup.
Just Sunday from 9 to 12. And it's pre-ordered.
Okay, so.
So it's not like people are coming and shopping. Sometimes they do have extras, but I'm posting those on social media. They're claimed. And then that would be the one rare occasion that cash is accepted in the cash box, which is locked.
So it's basically just by appointment only.
Yeah, it's not really an appointment. It's that window. So nobody's like, it's not like I'm coming at 9:15, 9:10. I will say most people tend to come early, just kind of get it and move on. But you know, besides from maybe people snapping a couple pictures, it's a very quick in and out.
And how many people are we talking about?
It's like 10 to 15 on average. You know, last week it was like 6. So it all depends. If it's like Super Bowl, it's a little bit busier. You know, people
Sure.
want bread bowls and stuff like that. But it's pretty mellow for the most part.
Yeah, that's all the questions for me.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Rosia?
Welcome to
Thank
Farmington.
you.
So just one question or one item for consideration that the town has, I don't know if you looked over the agenda, but I'm also aligned with this. So there's a pickup location on the street, am I right?
Yeah. So
Well, we actually so we were originally, we've got like a probably 3x4 dollhouse with
Yeah,
6
it's-
shelves on it,
Mhm.
roughly. So we were previously putting it out on the road. We've kind of messed around with where the location goes. We found this weekend that if we put it on the front porch, it's more of a porch pickup. and it causes less traffic to go down the road, less turnarounds in other people's driveways. More people are turning into our driveway and leaving. So we found that to be probably the most effective.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that'd be great because I was reading over the most letters that came was in support.
Thank
There was just one neighbor that was not happy with people turning in his driveway and lawn. So I thought it'd be great if moved
Yeah,
forward.
and the nice thing is the street is narrow, but our driveway is pretty big, so there is room. I'm open to putting like some signage out there, like please use our, I don't know, I can also, my app sends out reminder texts before pickup time. I can customize those to say, please remember, turn in the driveway, and be mindful of the neighbors.
Excellent. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
That's all I had.
Thank you.
Liz?
Thanks for the presentation.
Yeah.
Welcome to Farmington.
Thank you.
My questions, excuse me.
All choked up about it.
All choked up again. It's good bread.
I know.
Yeah.
Good sourdough bread is delicious. No, I think the idea of adding in your pickup instructions, your
Mhm.
reminders, I think that's a great device, a great vehicle to
Okay.
use to, just to keep people focused. And as you establish your clientele, they'll know what to do, where to go. So
Right.
You're building the education and teaching your
Mhm.
clients what to do. So I think that's great. All my other questions were asked. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave?
All right. As a fellow sourdough baker,
Oh, yeah.
who's actually been thinking of something similar. Yeah, my question was too about having a stand in front. I think that was problematic. But moving it to your porch is probably a great idea.
Yeah, that's really no problem. We were playing around with it a little bit because we moved here in August and then winter came and it was icy and I'm just like, oh, I want to be careful. So, I think the porch, we have a good pathway we can keep clean. So,
Yeah, and the roads, it's not a wide road. It's a dead end, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a narrow road in town for sure.
Yeah. So getting people to use your driveway is a good idea. So thanks for that. All right. Otherwise, no questions.
I like the discussion so far. When I was preparing for this, did I find you online as Dough Mama?
I'm Dough Mama
You are?
and it's Dough Mama's dollhouse. That's why we have a dollhouse.
Oh, okay. So there was something about Oxford though and delivery there. Are you still doing
Right.
that too, or is it now all
No, it's
Farmington?
unfortunately that dissolved. I moved here from Naugatuck and I had a big following in Naugatuck and my customers were heartbroken when I moved and I tried to offer a second pickup location and it was just, it got to be too much, but they actually will drive to me. So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, if there is a potential though, if you build your business big, then the traffic thing could start to get a little bit
Yeah.
problematic.
So one of the things we have with her, the hot plate application, she limits a sellout. So she can only produce so much. Once it's sold out, it's sold out. And we know that if it ever got bigger, we'd be looking at more of a retail location.
Yeah.
If I could buy Best Cleaner on the floor, I'd buy it tomorrow.
It sounds like you've really thought this.
We're
Good.
optimistic, so
Great.
hopefully.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
I have no questions, but welcome to town.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Peter?
No questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't think I have any questions either. It was welcome to town. Happy to have you. And I think, when the commission looks at these and you've already sort of addressed it, we're trying to balance the needs of the community with your, rights to have the cottage bakery out of your home. So that's where a lot of the questions and discussions coming from. This is a public hearing. So let me check. Any other questions, commissioners, before
I'm all set.
No,
everybody's good? Okay. This is a public hearing as well, so if anybody in the room wants to speak for or in opposition, you can come on up. You two can grab a seat and similar, we'll have you answer any questions after the public comment.
Hi there, I'm Lisa Shipper. I'm at 70 Hillside Avenue. I've lived on Hillside Avenue for 48 years of my life. Having Matt and Ashley on the street is such a breath of fresh air, and the bread and I will say the cookies and the cinnamon rolls, everything is excellent. They're excellent neighbors. I'm fully in support of Ashley's small business pickup on Sundays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Leah Marcello, and I live at 72 Hillside Ave. I've lived on Hillside Ave for approximately 16 years in total support of Dough Mama. It's wonderful business. I'm there every day, not every day, every Sunday. It's just been a positive addition to the neighborhood, to the community, to people that like to eat delicious breads and cookies, and I'm totally in support.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marnie Drury. I live at 60 Hillside Ave. I've lived there about 9 years, and I did skip a week. I'm so sorry, but my freezer is full of Dough Mama. I love it. Bagels too. I'm in full support. It's a local small business, family owned. It's a great thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pelletier. I live 30 Hillside Avenue. I've been on Hillside Avenue for about 25 years. I've not noticed a huge amount of traffic, and I know I had met Ashley soon after they moved in. And I have to say that the traffic hasn't even been a problem for me. I know I don't live close to their house, and I didn't know they had a dollhouse till recently. I got the letter. But I'm looking forward to ordering some bread from them. They have a lovely family and a welcome addition to our neighborhood.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening, everybody. I am Ann Safkak. I live at 48 Hillside Avenue, and they are my neighbors. I have had a traffic issue since they have started the business. I didn't realize that there was a business going in there. I did notice the dollhouse, and I thought that you built public houses and you sold them. So that's all I saw. I do have a hedge between the two houses. But I have had people are coming up, they are going in. Our road is a dead end. And I mean, it ends. And many of these people, they have there's a private section where the road ends, where the public is not allowed to go. It says no trespassing. There's a sign clearly there. So Lisa and many of the other folks that just testified live beyond that point. So they have not experienced that. And I know the woman at the closer end, she says she hasn't experienced it, but I have experienced it. So they're coming up, they are going past their house because and you've moved it several times. I've noticed that. And there was a big difference this weekend, I will say that. So the people weren't coming, they were pulling on the road, they were picking up their goods, then they would come up further. There's nowhere to turn around. So they either turn around in my driveway or the people across the street. And then when they turn around in the people across the street, they back up, which is like backing up to my yard. There hasn't been a lot, but there were some bigger vehicles. People are leaving tire tracks. Not a lot. I'm not saying it's, but I'm concerned about the volume increasing as well. Listen, I love bread. I love bread, and I love vegetable stands. I frequent everywhere around here. I go to Grouton's, and I go to Heinz, and I go to Julie Beans, and I buy breads, and I buy all that stuff at those places. But one thing you notice about those places, they're not on a narrow street where a lot of houses are. So while I appreciate the business and I would like to, I don't feel that it belongs on that road. About a year and a half ago, we all had to, our garbage pickup changed. Our garbage pickup used to be on both sides of the street. So the garbage truck would come up, they'd pick up one side, then they'd come up, back up again, and they'd do the other side. But a year and a half ago, because of the narrowness of the road, they changed that. So now we all have to put our garbage on the opposite side of the street. So the garbage truck only comes up once. So that explains like the narrowness and that kind of thing. And like I said, I would love the business. I just don't like it located right next door. I just don't think it's the right place for it.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in the room? Shane, anyone checking online?
If anyone is called in to offer comment on the application for 46 Hillside for Ashley Chapman for cottage food bakery and pickup at that location, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom to address the commission. Again, if anyone is called in to offer comment regarding the public hearing item for 46 Hillside Avenue, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. Mr. Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay,
We do have
Yeah.
written public comment, if it's okay if I get that. into
Please.
The record. Okay. So this is the written comment that came in from Anne Marie Safkak, who just spoke to the commission and addressed them in person. All the same comments noted in
Mhm.
written. We have a letter of support from Cindy Lucas. An email of support. Email and support for from Monica Palmieri. Email received in support from Rosemary Hogue. An email and, oh, that's also from Rosemary Hogue. Oh, we got that in twice somehow. And email in support from Shannon Sproles. So that's the documents that we received.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Shane. Would you like to respond to any of the comments?
Well, it sounds like if things were better, having the dollhouse on the porch, that would be my plan moving forward with encouragement to turn in our driveway only. And I will be at Heinz Farm and some of the local farms this summer as well. So some of that will slow down a little bit in the, farmers market season. So then my pickup will also be at, if I'm at Heinz Farm for their opening day weekend, which I will be, then you could pre-order and pick up from me there, or I could still deliver to you guys. But I think just trying to cut back on the turning down is going to be my game plan.
And if any signage is required or anything like that.
Yeah, we're happy to
more than
put,
welcome to.
is that a whole nother?
Yeah, I know. I think in my opinion, and I think Liz said it as well, anything that you can do in your instructions to encourage turning, not going to that other end of the street, just turning in your driveway and going back out would be really appreciated in this process. You have the right to have the business per our regulations, so it's just a matter of managing the traffic issues.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do that. We've got 5 kids and we appreciate a quiet street and we're always out there monitoring.
Any other questions? Anybody?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can probably close the public hearing at this point unless anybody. Good. All right, going to close the public hearing. Can we get a motion in a second?
I'm going to ask to be clear that because there were two items.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
thank you.
So that's fine. You can do it all as one. It doesn't have to be 2 separate. But from the discussion, you just need to be clear that we're not approving the farm stand. You are approving the home business, which will allow the pickup at the address.
So condition it as the dollhouse is on the porch or away
Mhm.
from
Yeah.
The pickup location is on the porch.
I would even say the porch for now, and if it needs to change, they would need to
Correct.
come back before us to change that location, right?
Correct. Yeah, but
Okay.
it won't, no, the roadside.
That's right. Go for it, Matt.
Give it a shot.
Like to make a motion to approve the application for special permit for home business for pickup of items at 46 Hillside Avenue by Ashley Chapman, R12 zone, with the condition that the pickup location is on the porch. And changing would require returning to the council.
Yeah, or would you just say that the pickup locations at the porch and she'll notify her customers accordingly as presented.
Pickup location at the porch and she will notify her customers as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Everybody's comfortable voting?
Mhm.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Best of luck. No planners report? Shannon?
No, I was busy writing everything up, the items that were either postponed.
Writing and postponing?
With
You're
my-
too
with
busy
my
writing and
stuff.
postponing?
No, I don't have anything else for
Oh, we
the
probably did.
commission
That's a good
unless
point.
anybody has any.
Do we need to continue Richard Jones?
We do, sorry, yes, we do.
I skipped right over that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it does. need
Boy,
to
I'm a
be
mess tonight. I missed all
open.
kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Opened and immediately continued.
Right.
Please.
All right, I gotta find it in I mixed up all my pages now. Hang on.
Got it on the screen for you, Mr. Chair, if you'd like.
All right.
If that's helpful.
So item number 4, Richard Jones application for change of zone from CR to C1. Can we get a motion to continue to open and continue to April 28th, 2025?
Like to make a motion to continue the application by Richard Jones for a change of zone from CR to C1, posted in the town clerk's office for a special permit and site plan to construct 3 contractor buildings, work within the flood perimeter overlay zone, waiver for impervious coverage, and waiver for interior landscaping located at lot 8556 New Britain Avenue, adjacent to 544 New Britain Avenue, with a suggested hearing date of April 28th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. So now just the minute, Shannon?
Yes, I do not have any planners report items unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions for Shannon?
No.
Rose is leaving already? There we go.
Rose is back.
We don't have Bobby.
She's got one
Bobby to ask questions.
one leg out the door. Motion and a second to approve the minutes from the March 10th.
I'd like to make a
Meeting.
motion to approve the minutes for March 10th, 2025 Town Plan and Zoning Commission meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm abstaining. I wasn't here.
Okay. Opposed? Abstentions. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.